All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Delusional Daydreams podcast. I am your host, Ari Lou, and if you can't tell by my energy right now, today is gonna be a fiery fucking episode. Why? Because I have been pushed to my absolute goddamn motherfucking limit. And it's about motherfucking time that I tell my story. I am sick of being surrounded by people in my life that manipulate me, twist my words, gaslight me, and turn their backs on me and drag my name through the motherfucking dirt, all to defend their precious little egos. I am sick of it. I am sick of the facades. I am sick of the masks. And I am sick of living in people's lies. I will not support people's facades. And if my truth and authenticity fucking triggers you, maybe you need to look in the fucking mirror. Okay? Now, I'm not talking to you. This is not for you. I'm sorry. That was a really intense opener. This is my origin story. We're going to get deep into it. So if you didn't catch the last episode, my life this last week has gotten completely turned upside down. I just ended a 3.5-year relationship with the person I thought was my forever. We spent the last 3.5 years in this condo that my now ex, owns. We spent the last 3.5 years remodeling this place from the ground up with our bare hands, doing everything ourselves. We spent the last 3 years building a family with us and our dog, traveling the country, going on so many different road trips, going on different endeavors for careers and online pursuits and different educational programs for different things for him. I have spent the last 3.5 years of my life in this relationship, in this condo, giving my energy to everything except myself. And now I am single. Now I am currently living in the spare room of my ex's condo right across the hall from the room I've been living in the past 3.5 years. I'm living in this room with my dog because our dog is now my dog. I have no car. I have no job. I have no money. Because to be quite honest with you, for the last 3.5 years, I've been a stay-at-home girlfriend. I've had odd jobs here and there in between. But I've really been put in this position to be able to stay at home, be taken care of, and really be the support system for my partner. And by doing so, I gave away everything I had. And now I am absolutely left with nothing. And in facing this truth, in being humbled so fucking greatly by the universe, through this transition of like, okay, holy shit, my entire life just got completely turned upside down. What do I do next? Universe, give me a sign. I'm looking for a sign. And at this point in my mind, I really only had two options. I could either go move in with my parents in Minnesota on my mom's side, or potentially go move in with my parents in Washington State on my dad's side. Other than that, I really don't have the option to just pick up and move wherever I want to move and get an apartment and set up a life, because I literally do not have the resources to make that happen. So I'm really at this point where I have nothing. It's very humiliating. It's very embarrassing. It's very humbling. And on top of all of this, my truth, stepping into my truth, telling my story for the first time, truly, For the first time, saying my truth, speaking my truth, and stepping into my authenticity, it triggered the 2 relationships in my life that I wanted to hold on the most. My mother and my sister. Oh, shit. So on top of being brought down to fucking absolutely nothing, like, oh my God, down here, this is where I'm living. Even though my external reality's down here, my spirit's up here, but my external reality has humbled me down to here. So on top of being down here, my family has openly announced they are not supporting me. I am estranged, and my personal issues drive such a fucking wedge in their own personal lives, and it's triggering their own fucking facades and masks and lies that they're living in, that they are now cutting me off. And they are now like, okay, good luck. And not only like oh, I'm going to release you, send light and love and good luck and shoo. Even though you have no friends, no family, no support other than your ex. And we know that. Good motherfucking luck. So when I got that message, that hurt. But that wasn't just the digger of it. Because it goes even one step further. The audacity to take my truth and my words and twist them and manipulate them to feed their own fears and their own insecurities. They are going around taking my name and dragging it through the mud and just splatting my shit everywhere because they're so fucking terrified of change in their own life. They can't look at themselves in the mirror. They've never had to. I'm the only person in their life that makes them want to or glance at themselves, and they're not liking what they're seeing. I can tell you that much, because with the way they are tearing me down, when I am already at my motherfucking lowest, that speaks volumes on character. That speaks absolute volumes as to who they are. And I saw this video that was like, oh, what was the exact quote? It was like, when you're at your worst or when you're at your lowest and your phone is, there's nothing. No one's calling you. No one's texting you. When you enter your winning season, those people that weren't calling and weren't texting and weren't supporting you, and they come crawling back in your winning season when you start to get better, watch out. Watch out. Karma's going to come back and bite you in the fucking ass. But I want to get into it. I want to get into my origin story and my truth. Everything that really made it blow up was me speaking to my mother about my abandonment issues and how much I love her and I miss her and I want more of her in my life. And I told her straight up, I just want to feel like you want me. That's it. And just by saying that, when I'm at my motherfucking lowest, it blew up in my face. But again, sometimes people can't handle the fucking truth. So I'm going to speak my truth because it's about fucking time I was heard. I have let everybody else say their shit, say their opinions, say their side of the story, while I sit in the corner and I'm quiet and I take it in and I'm reserved and I hold it in because I don't want to create the tension. It's not my tension to create. But I am a part of this situation, and my story and my experience is fucking valid. So here we go. So I come from a divorced family. In fact, my parents had me the November after they graduated high school. So they had one free summer And they weren't even free because my mom was pregnant, right? So my parents never really had the opportunity to grow up before having me. My mom had me at 18 and my dad was 19. And my parents, their story obviously did not have a very happy ending. They're divorced. They were together for not even that long. Maybe like 4 or 5 years, if that. So they had me, they were together for a little bit, for a couple years. And then when I was like a kid and I could walk and I could be in the wedding, they got married. And then once they got married, they were only married for 6 months. But let me tell you about the toxicity that I grew up in. When I was a kid, I remember so specifically sitting on the curb in front of the house by myself, wanting the kids to be home, ready to play around in the cul-de-sac so we could go and fuck off. But so many times those kids weren't available. And when they weren't available and I was by myself, I remember sitting on the curb outside. I'm maybe 3 or 4 years old. And I'm sitting there by myself and all you can hear is the screaming and the banging of my parents in the house behind me. And that happened all the fucking time. In fact, I'm not going to go into the details of how all of it happened because I honestly don't remember. And at this point, I don't trust anybody's stories because what I'm coming to learn is that my mother loves to twist her side of the story. I remember when they officially separated, my father got taken away in a cop car. And I remember that being one of the scariest things of my life. I'm a 3-4-year-old kid, maybe 5. I don't fucking know. I was young. And the police are taking my dad away. And then I'm at home with my mom and no one's saying anything. No one's telling me why, what's going on. And all of a sudden they're separated. And in that separation, my dad really took his time finding women, dating women, and especially bringing women around me because he didn't want to just bring people into my life just to take them away while he's in his discovery and dating era. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, thank you so fucking much for doing that. Because on the other side of my experience, I had my mother, who right after my dad got taken away, right away, there was a guy. He was like half fucking bald. He had 2 little girls. Oh my God, they were the biggest bitches. They always came to the house. And I was like, who is this? What is this? No, I don't like these girls. This is stupid. And then after that, the next guy comes around. But the next guy ends up being my stepdad. Now, I don't want to talk too much trash because honestly, in my scenarios, like my parents have been divorced for a very long time at this point. And I do have 2 sets of parents. I have a dad and a stepmom and a mom and a stepdad. And given the situation that they were in, given the circumstances, they actually did a very good job at handling me and switching me off back and forth every single Friday. I grew up living out of a suitcase. I never, even though I had my technical 2 home bases, it never really felt like I had a home base because I was always just kind of wishy-washy. And I remember my mom, when she started getting really serious with Chris, she got pregnant out of wedlock again. Now, I'm not here to judge because I've got my own shit. I've done my own path of bullshit. I've done the drugs. I've done the shit in relationships. I've done it all. But the thing is, I'm here to tell a story that seemingly I'm the only person that can fucking see. So it's about time I see it. Or I say it. Yeah, I always felt in a weird way abandoned because through all of the weird stuff between the divorce and my parents and then my mom going off right away and choosing men over choosing her daughter, choosing a savior, which I get in her mindset. She wants a guy that's going to come in and provide stability and be financially stable and be nice to her children. And I get that she's operating in that sense out of mother mode. But as I look at it, she was operating out of fear. And when she got pregnant with my sister, everything started to change. It all started to change because all of a sudden it became all about her new family. And I'm not saying that they didn't try to integrate me into that family, but I always felt left out. That's just going to happen. It just is. And to put a cherry on top of everything, the relationship I had with that side of my family, my mom and my stepdad, it was so fucked up growing up. Truly. When I was growing up, that side of my family put me in a weird fucking triangle with them, where my stepfather would give me insider information into their relationship and then tell me not to tell my mom that I knew. My mom would give me inside information into that relationship and then say, okay, but now that I've just dropped this big ass drama bomb on you, you have to act like you don't know this and you have to shelter this from your sister. So my entire life, I have had the inside fucking scoop on their marital status, on the ins and outs of their drama. But then as I'm being vented to and I'm the middleman between their bullshit and their drama because their marriage wasn't beautiful. And I'm not saying all marriages are beautiful all the fucking time, but I can tell you right fucking now that it's not beautiful. A loveless marriage is a not beautiful thing to witness and grow up in. But there were so many situations and things that were said to me that I was used as a pawn. Now, my mom loves to say, and she did a great job of this, I was not pawned between my actual father, my biological father, and my biological mother. No. They did great at not really pawning me. But I was pawned between my mom and my stepdad, between their bullshit and their drama my entire fucking life. There's been so many situations where I have not been treated fairly from that side of the family. And as I've gotten older, seeing the difference in the way I'm treated versus my sister has really been hitting home. And I know that children that come from the same households don't have the same childhood. They also don't have the same relationships with their parents. So even though my sister and I came from the same household, I'm 6.5 years older than her. I was only there half the time. And to be honest, I was always made to feel like I was hindering that family's experience. That side of my family, my entire life, always wanted to get up and move to California or move to Pennsylvania or move anywhere across the country for a better job opportunity because they were hurting financially my entire life. But because I existed, they couldn't make moves. They couldn't take opportunities. And they made it very fucking clear that they couldn't actually up-level their life until I was 18 and I was out of their life. Now, I know intentionally my mom, looking back now, she's like, oh no, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. Well, bitch, you did. You made me feel like my existence, just breathing, is a fucking burden. But I hate to break it to you, Mom. I did not ask to get born. You're the one that chose to have me. And when I'm 13 years old and you tell me that, oh yeah, I've given up on you and I'm putting all of my mothering into your sister because half of the time you're getting raised by your dad and I have no control over you anymore, do you know how that makes me feel? I'm a lost cause. Go fuck off. I'm getting all my attention to your little sister. And you have to watch. And do you know how many times too my mom told me, oh my gosh, you're a dancer. It's so expensive. Your hobbies just take up all of our finances. Like, you have two parents, so your dad should be, and your dad only has to take care of one child, so he should be taking care of more of you than me because I've got Malia that I have to take care of. And because I have to take care of you, it's hindering my experiences and Malia's experiences and Chris's experiences and the things that we can do as a family. I was told my entire life that my existence was a fucking burden, that I was a lost cause because the situation that my mother decided to bring me into this world in didn't work out in her favor. And she gave up on it. She was like, oh, whoops. And so when I became an adult and I became a free thinker, I fucking said, I'm done. I'm done with this. And it's so sad that in the last 3 years, we've actually gotten really fucking close. We've gotten really close because I put my hurt aside. I put my hurt aside to have a relationship with you. And it's even funny too, because I mean, there's just so many instances in my life that I have been made to feel like the bad guy when all I was doing was living my life, and I was put in the middle of situations and I was being dumped drama on and then told, hey, hide that. Don't tell anyone that. Don't show your sister. Don't let her know what's going on. She doesn't like. I have been forced into an adult position my entire fucking life. Like when my parents are fucking screaming at the top of their lungs, punching holes through doors in front of my sister and I have to lock me and my sister in the room while she's crying and they're screaming and slamming doors and running cars all through the neighborhood. I was put in the position to be the adult and to calm my sister and to shelter my sister. And now that we're adults and I'm going through one of the hardest times in my life, and my mom knows that. She knew I was going through a hard time. Yet she decided to leave me out in the cold and dry for an entire week to figure it out myself. Oh, good luck. So when she did finally call to see what was going on and be like, oh, are you okay? How's the breakup? Are you okay? Even though you knew about it for a week. I'm going to blow up in your face because you did not reach out to me sooner knowing my current situation. You knew I was alone. You knew I don't have friends. I don't have family out here. I don't have money. I don't have a car. I don't have a job. I don't have a house. And you're going to sit by and you're going to just post about this epic, beautiful little weekend that you had for my little sister's 21st birthday in fucking Nashville. Mom, did you forget? You didn't even take me out for a drink on my 21st birthday. So that triggering even more abandonment issues. I was like, Mom, what the fuck is going on? I miss you. I love you. I want more of you. Hit me up. Why is it that before we went to Lake Powell 2 months ago, which the only reason I was able to go to I went to Lake Powell with you, and the only reason you would have invited me in the first place is because when you drive to Lake Powell, you had to drive through my town. How convenient. Wow. You drove right through. You could say hello and you could pick me up. How cool. But after this entire week of realizing that my entire world is crumbling and the facade is lifting, I'm stepping into this era of my life where I can no longer put up the facade. I am always going to be honest with you, even if the truth hurts, because that's true love. I'm not going to feed your illusion. Fuck that, dude. If I'm yearning for love in my life and I'm yearning for attention in my life, it's up to me to take action in making that happen, because relationships are a two-way street. I believe that to a certain degree. Take the action, make the initiative. Relationships are a two-way street. But when the other party starts taking you for granted, when the other party starts overlooking you, that is when it's time to set some boundaries. Because for me, I will no longer have my kindness be mistaken for weakness. I have been patient. I have heard you through. I haven't said a fucking thing about what's wrong. I have been burying that because anytime I try to voice my opinion, I get ignored. And I don't want to cause that tension or stress in anybody's life. But I'm at the point now where I need to speak my truth. I need to set my boundaries. And if that means I need to love you from afar, I will. And I think something that I was learning from that too is like when I was standing up and like speaking my truth and being like, Mom, I need you. Oh my God, I need you. I love you. I want more of you. Also, the situation you're in, there is stuff going on, or there is stuff that has been going on your entire marriage behind your back that I have been in the middle of that you don't know about. And all of this is coming out because it is a part of my inner child story. Because when I'm trying to bring up abandonment issues and you're asking me deeper questions about where this is stemming from, why you feel this way, and I give you concrete examples about why I feel the way I feel based off of the experiences that I've had, and then you're going to take those experiences, turn them against me, and be like, well, that's not valid. That's not how it was. Mom, that is how it was. That's how it was for me. And just because my childhood wasn't the same as your childhood, just because I did not experience your childhood as a child to have something to compare my experience to, doesn't invalidate my own experience. And if you're too wrapped up in your own experience to open your eyes to what I'm seeing and what you caused for me, why did you become a mom? Why did you say yes? Why did you bring me into this world if you're just gonna fuck me off? Why? I did not ask to be put here onto this earth. You made that choice. And now I'm suffering the motherfucking consequences of the bullshit that you choose to ignore and not heal. So standing up to my mom, it was the first time, because my mother is someone who is always right. She's always right. And I never really understood like why she was always right until we got in this big fight and I started reading how she was responding to my cry for help. And I wasn't even like being mean, you guys. Like I would literally show you these text messages, and if I showed you and asked you which one of us wrote which one, I can guarantee that you would look at my messages and be like, oh, that's from the mom. That's like loving. Yeah, no, that was from me. The one that looks like a teenager crying out for help and being like, Wah! That was my mom. That was my mom, because her hurt little ego just came at me. Lowest motherfucking blows to me as well. For the first time, me as an adult, it is time for me to stand up and validate the little girl that has been crying in the corner on the curb outside of that house that you have been screaming at since I was 3 years old. That little girl has been crying on that curb for her mom since that day. And she feels abandoned and sad and alone and overlooked and not good enough and just fucked off because there's no chance in you. I can't control you anymore. It's about time that my adult self validates that little girl, stands up for that little girl's experience, because no one else is going to do it for me. And when I stood up for myself, not in a mean way, in an honest way. And like I said, the truth fucking hurts. But when I stood up for myself, it felt so good, because for the first time, I was validating myself, how I have not been treated fairly. And I'm not saying that the world is fair. It's absolutely not. But I'm here to point it out. And I'm here to point out your ignorance. And for you to take my truth and my experience, turn it against me, say shit that I didn't say to my sister, turn my sister against me, that, like, the veil was lifted, because there's been so many times in my life too where my mother has manipulated me and turned me against my own family members, and always playing this victim card of like, oh, poor me, I love you, and this person hurt me so bad, and I just love you and I support you, and we should fuck these guys off, right? Like, just love me instead. I'm done. I love you so much, but your colors just came out so hard this week. Your karma is no more relationship with me. But I'm at this point in my life right now where the universe has completely humbled me down to fucking nothing. Like, and I mean absolutely fucking nothing. I mean, not only do I not have anything in my external materialistically, but now that I've been estranged from half of my family, I got clear answers from my mother, clear answers from my sister. At this point, I don't have anything to lose. And it's not like I'm going to go into this world being like, I've got nothing to lose. It's more like I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And it hurts so bad because I want nothing but to love her and to have a really close relationship with her. That's all I've wanted my entire life. But all she wants is to go external. I need to cut it off here, see how this is turning out. Thank you so much for tuning in and hearing me go the fuck off. Ari Lou, signing out. Until next time, peace punch, Captain Crunches.